There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
What's up and welcome in. Just a quick little video here, guys. We just finished the program roundup. Go check that out too. We break down all of college football, but we saw a tweet, credit to George Stoya here, of Brent Venables on the coaches.
George the homie.
Yeah, Brent Venables on the coaches show saying, hey, we probably have a Rolodex of better plays when talking about the 4th and 5 play at the end of the game Saturday against Oklahoma State. We talked about it last week. We feel like there's some kind of tension in the coaching room, and I think that confirms it. Mark, what are your thoughts?
Man, I said it after the game or not after the game, last week, I guess. I said it last week, and then I did say it after the game. This was the first time that I could see sort of a separation between Venables and Lebby moving forward this offseason. And doesn't that quote really feel like it's more possible? I feel like the odds just went from plus money to minus money on Lebby's departure moving forward. Whether that's good or bad, I know there are a lot of opinions out there about it. I feel like we can get into that at some point, but holy cow, that feels like where everything else has been sort of like ricochet, this is a shot across the bow. Don't you think?
I would 100% agree. I would think that the people who do not agree, though, this is the only kind of positive way I'm thinking of it, is Brent Venables wants to take more ownership of the offense and the team as a head coach in general, which includes the offense. And maybe in these quotes, he's more so blaming himself, but we're reading into it as he's blaming Jeff Lebby. It's the only twist I have here.
I would like to think you're right, but I just can't get there. I think that part of the deal has been the contracted out offense where Brent's going to run the defense. Jeff, you've got the offense, and there will be minimal input from the head coach on real play calling decisions. I'm sure that, like, do we go forward on 3rd and 1? Do we go forward on 4th and 1? That's Brent's call all the time, no doubt. But what do we call in those moments seems to be Lebby. And if it's not, if Brent is already exerting that kind of control and then has a quote like this, that's a tough look too. I just don't think that that's the way it's working out. I think that Lebby is calling, like we've been saying for 2 years now, weird plays in these very important situations. And you can't count on success when he's doing that. I pointed it out in the post game. There's one play where it's like a 3rd and 7 and he catches the ball at less than 7 yards. Drake Stoops from jet motion, ends up in the backfield and catches it. There's no chance we're successful on that play. That's not the 4th and 5 that Brent is mentioning, but man, it's not ideal all around.
No, not at all. Again, the situational play calling has just not been good all year. It wasn't good last year. We're not seeing improvement on it. We talk every single week. What is our identity on offense? I guess it's just RPOs and throwing the ball backwards and then hoping for the best otherwise, because, man, it's just not going to win you games. And the Drake Stoops pass behind the line, as you mentioned in the postgame pod, go check that out, is clear evidence of that.
Yeah, it's just not working on those down. And the offense is largely successful, right? We say this on a day for where the offense is actually largely successful. And if they're successful 1 or 2 more times, if they're successful on that 4th and 5, possibly, you turn this into a different kind of game and a different kind of outcome. But here's a thought. Maybe it's good we're facing these problems because there is clearly something there that's an issue, and they're coming to the forefront now.
Absolutely. I think my last point on all of this is I hear a lot of rumors, a lot of people saying 2 big things. Who are you going to get if Jeff goes? I think we already have him with Seth Luttrell. I thought we brought him in to replace Jeff if Jeff gets a head coaching job. The second thing other people are saying is don't let Jeff go because of Jackson Arnold. I believe Jackson Arnold came to the University of Oklahoma because he loves the university, and he can see everything happening too. He's got a firsthand look at it. He doesn't want to throw the ball backwards 7 yards either. So I think he's bought in on OU and wouldn't leave with Jeff. That's my take, at least. And I know other people are saying otherwise. I wouldn't be afraid if Jeff was fired.
No, it's a good point because, well, for one thing, I don't expect it to be called a firing in any kind of way.
Yes.
I just don't expect that. I think that the phrasing is very important in these kind of things. And Jeff Lebby's no you guy. He's an alum of Oklahoma.
Right.
You part ways with that person. You don't fire that person.
Yeah.
You fire Mike Stoops. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm also interested in, like you said, how much the Jackson Arnold thing really is tied to it. We are so accustomed to this Lincoln Riley head coach and quarterback being tied at the hip kind of deal. And at a lot of places, that still largely is not the case. If a quarterback or if a head coach leaves, if an OC leaves, that's not necessarily how it goes. So look, last thought from me, I sort of think this is what's coming. I think that Lebby is going to be gone in the offseason now. And I hope you're right, man. I hope that you don't see any kind of exodus. Hopefully guys like Seth Littrell and Matt Wells can bridge the gap on the offensive side with the quarterbacks. And position coaches are going to stay on staff and keep the room together. I mean, that's what you have to hope for, right?
Yeah, I would completely agree. And I think we're set up for most of that staff, if not all of that offensive staff, to stay because they're more so Oklahoma guys have been brought in by Brent.
Or held over from Brent, right? Your
Yeah.
DeMarcos, your Bill Bedenbaugh, your
Right.
Joe John Finley's. I mean, Joe John Finley is not leaving because Jeff Lebby is gone, even if they are best buds. I don't think. I can't promise the Joe John one. But DeMarco's not leaving just because Jeff Lebby leaves. If he didn't leave for Lincoln, he's not leaving now, I would think.
Yeah, agreed.
That's all I got, man. I really wish that this quote did not come out. I don't
Me
love it.
either. Yeah,
I don't love it.
Tension in the
that's
room.
not taking accountability the way that I would like to see a head coach take it.
No, not at all. Go like and subscribe. Check out our post-game Oklahoma State. Check out our program roundup sponsored by our friends at the Fan Stop. And Mark, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
3, 2, 1.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being